to Along the Rock, our semi-regular podcast. And I'm Mark Morris. My guest today, for the second time in several weeks, Mary Thormahlen from the Sauk Area Council on Mental Illness.
Yep.
I got it right.
Yeah. National Alliance of Mental Illness, yes.
Right. NAMI,
Yes.
as we call it in the business,
Yes.
like I'm in the business. Mary, a sad case, although it was not a suicide in Georgia the other day, and a 14-year-old boy who apparently gave some signs that all was not all right, and killed 4 people, 2 students and 2 teachers at his school. He himself gave himself up to the police rather than take his own life, as often happens. And this, I guess, is why it's so important, I think, to not only let school administrators and teachers know what to look for in the signs, but the students themselves.
Yes.
Students are going to talk more to their peers than they are to some grown-up.
Absolutely.
Even if that's the job the grown-up is supposed to be there for.
They usually go to their peers first.
Yeah.
And we try to do as much as we can to educate not only the staff but the students on those warning signs. And even warning signs for suicide. Like, those are a lot of what the same warning signs for mental illness. And when you see those, reach out. Even if you don't think that it's as bad as it is, reach out and get them that help. They might be resistant to it, but at least keep an eye on that child or even a staff member.
Sure.
And that's incredibly important. So,
as the police sometimes say, if you see something, say something.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Good words to live by. 988, I guess, is a number that has become, and I'm guessing you're hoping will become even more so important to people who are themselves feeling, for lack of a better term, out of it.
Yes, so 988 is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It was created, I believe, officially in 2022. It had to actually be a law passed. Prior to that, there was a suicide hotline, but it was an 800 number, and so they wanted to make it more convenient with the 3 digits. It is for anyone that is struggling with suicide or crisis, even substance abuse crises, but also if you are worried about a loved one, you can also call that number. It's a 24-hour, 365 number. You'll get connected with a trained crisis counselor. If they feel like there needs to be someone there in person, that's when they will contact and dispatch the right people to you. Otherwise, they don't know where you are unless you provide that information. They originally were doing the calls based on area codes, but area codes are a lot different now because you might have an 815.
Yeah, exactly.
And you might not, you might have moved and that might be your number, but you live in a different state now. So they kind of do it, I think, by zip code or counties maybe. But there are call centers all over the place. They also have specific lines. So if you call, they say within 30 seconds there's going to be an answer. There's an option for a Spanish. And then also press 1 for the veteran crisis lifeline. So they have people that are specifically for veterans. And then I believe there is a line for the LGBT community as well. So that they have
some specific needs for specific people with specific
and
concerns.
Don't quote me, but I believe there is also specifically a youth line as well, but I'm not 100%. Don't quote me on that. I believe that there is, but I'm not 100% sure. So
the people who answer the phone, they may not be the be-all and end-all, the first people that answer, but they do know what they're doing in all these different cases.
Yes.
And they know how to keep the train moving, so to speak.
So it will go directly if it'll be answered within 30 seconds, and then it'll be transferred to the closest call center for you. And if that call center doesn't pick up, it's very quick that it goes to another one or to a national line. Like they want that call answered within 45 seconds. So they're very on top of it. I can't give you the amount of people that have called. I haven't looked that number up because I know it's grown, but it is being used. However, only about 40% of Americans know about the 988 resource.
Really?
So this year, for the first year, SAMHSA, which is Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, has decided to deem September 8th 988 day, to kind of give an initiative and say, we need to really push this 988 so people are more aware of this resource, because it is a really big issue. Suicide is the 10th leading cause in the United States overall. You talked about the shooting 10 to 14, that's the second leading cause of death in 10 to 14, and the third leading cause in ages 15 to 24. So it is a serious, serious problem, and SAMHSA is trying to do the best they can with that.
Wow.
Yep.
I know you've probably done some thinking about this, as I have. We've both had personal experiences with mental health and some concerns. This is just an opinion I'm asking for here, but just what is it that gets a person to the point where they feel that taking your own life is the only option? Obviously there are so many other ways you can go.
Yeah.
Does it become
that's
feature of the body?
That's mental health. That's mental illness. I can speak on what NAMI kind of has as far as research there, is that, there's a lot of hopelessness, just feeling like there's nothing worth living for. A lot of those kind of feelings, isolation, that's why COVID kind of made suicide a bigger deal.
Sure, you bet.
The isolation. And it is so hard because your brain is what's wrong. It's not a broken arm, it's their brain. And that's not something that you can walk away from. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's constant.
Sure.
And that's where that feeling of, I just want to get this to stop. And that's the feeling that you get. And it is preventable. It is preventable if we get that person the right resources like 988 Lifeline, educate other people on the warning signs so that they can reach out to that person when they feel concerned, and be able to, have those resources, have those people educated, and really be able to step in when they need to.
And there are, if needed, further steps
Yes.
along the way.
Yes.
If, talking about it or what have you isn't cutting it, and
Yeah.
often it doesn't.
Yes.
It's like taking a set of stairs. You can, go higher and higher along the medical, knowledge line, and there will be people all along the way who can say, well, that didn't work, so let's do this.
Yes. So it really is important that we're really trying to push the initiative to talk about it and the silence and the stigma around it, because if people are more understanding of it and there's not that fear of talking about it, then that can help prevent it as well. So we have a training going on end of this month, actually in Sterling. NAMI, Illinois is coming to us to do this training called Ending the Silence. And this gives us the opportunity to reach staff, parents, and young people and talk to them about suicide and mental illness and really teach them what they need to know. It's a presentation with someone with lived experience like myself, and then also including a youth that has gone through a mental illness journey and speaks on kind of how they're feeling or were feeling, to be able to educate so that staff and parents and students don't feel so alone in that.
That's good.
Yeah.
You, of course, have relatively now new headquarters for the Sauk Area chapter of NAMI. And I guess for people who just don't know where those are and what that headquarters provides, say, for a walk-in?
We don't provide anything, nothing walk-in. We are not, we're not certified to provide those kinds of services. Our office is strictly for volunteers, board members, and the phone number, we don't really advertise our phone number, because it did get tried to use as a hotline, and that's not what we are. There is a NAMI hotline that's available on the website, but we recommend that that's who you call. We will provide services to you, like our support groups and resources, but we are not certified to be able to provide that kind of support.
Okay, so the best and quickest way to do things if you're, if your feelings aren't normal, and aren't manageable, so 988.
988, yep.
So.
Yes. And if it's better to go to the extreme of 988 and for them to tell you, hey, this and this and this is what you can do, rather than not call at all. And you can call, text 988, and you can also get online at 988lifeline.org and chat with them online. So there's different options. If you're not comfortable actually calling and talking to them on the phone, there is other options. So.
Okay. Other events happening later in the month of September, which
Yes.
again is National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month.
Yes. Yep, and that's why I'm here. But September 17th, we are going to do a presentation at our headquarters, as you want to say. We use it as a resource. There's a bigger room that the chiropractor in there has that is just perfect for us to be able to do presentations in. So September 17th, we're going to do a presentation called Mental Illness and Hospitalizations, What Families Should Know. Amy Meyer from CGH Behavioral Unit, she's a clinical therapist. She's going to come in and talk to us about what the steps are if a loved one or yourself is hospitalized, because when that decision is made, it goes very quickly, and it's nice to kind of have an idea of what is going to happen, what may happen. So that's going to be a very informative, because that doesn't always happen, that you get that information before. And then I'm going to come in and talk also. I was hospitalized 6 years ago now, as of this the other day, 6 years ago was my anniversary. And I'm going to talk about what led me to the hospitalization and that decision to be hospitalized. But then I'm also going to talk about what happened after the hospitalization, and that there is light and hope at the end of the tunnel. So it's going to be an extremely informative presentation. I encourage anybody in the area to come, because I think it's a really good presentation that we're going to be providing.
So that will be at the headquarters then?
Yes, that is at Rooted Wellness is what the building is called, and that's at 3101 Freeport Road.
Right. The old home of WSDR and
Yep.
the other radio stations related. Anything else you'd like to feel important to fill us in on for the month of September?
Yeah, so next week is Suicide Prevention Awareness Week. They put an extra in there in the month, but we're gonna do during that week. We are sending packages to 17 high schools in our region. We're sending them bookmarks, This is just a bookmark. It says, when the caterpillar thought the world was over, it became a butterfly. The moment you're ready to quit is usually the moment right before a miracle happens. Don't give up. And it has the 988 information on it. So we designed those. We're going to be giving those out to the schools. It just says suicide prevention awareness, so it doesn't say September on it, so they can use it all year long. We're also providing silicone bracelets that say call or text 988, and this is to provide the students with those resources so that they know. We're also providing information to the school for them to help spread awareness, have those conversations maybe in the classroom with the students, have a conversation about suicide prevention, allow the students to make posters and, or post-it notes of, you matter, you're enough, those sort of things.
Sure.
And post it around the school. So we're kind of leaving it up to school how they want to do it, but we're providing resources to them. And then on September 26th is our Survivors of Suicide support group. But we're doing a special presentation during that group that's open to the public. It's called Suicide Talk. It's going to be presented by one of our board members, Jeff Hippen. And what it is to shed light on suicide as far as ending the stigma and talking out loud and having a community conversation about it so people can understand it better to be able to prevent it. So we're doing a lot of things to really throw 988 out there, but also just suicide prevention so that people can really understand that it is preventable and have those resources. So
Yeah, beyond all that, don't hold back. Talk to a friend.
yeah, absolutely.
A boyfriend or girlfriend.
Yeah.
I know talking to a parent for a student is not the first avenue they want to take usually, but talk to maybe one parent at a time and just let it out there how you're really feeling, because
the other thing too, reach out to your friends. If you see them acting differently, or even just if you know that maybe they have a history of anxiety or depression or anything, reach out to them and make sure that they're okay. Ask them if they're okay. Spend time with them. Make sure they're not isolating themselves. Make sure they're not doing those warning signs, and really communicate with them. So check on your people.
that's right. Stay close.
Yes, not just students and youth, but also adults. Check on your friends and check on your family.
Good point.
Yes.
All right, we've been talking with Mary Thormahlen from the local chapter, Sauk Area chapter of NAMI.
Yes.
And lots of things happening in September.
Absolutely.
Thanks for filling us in, and I'm sure we'll see you again soon.
Yes, I
All
hope
right.
so. Thank you.
You bet. Mark Morris saying goodbye for now, but hope you can join us next time for Along the Rock.